Coming up this morning on Daybreak, the Missouri Job Center held a panel to show the benefits of hiring former inmates. Our Hannah Zetto will have that report. And we'll explain why Planned Parenthood, the ACLU, and a law firm based in New York are suing the state of Missouri. Plus, you may have to change your route to work if you use southbound 65. We'll tell you what road work is happening. We'll bring you that story and much more this morning on Daybreak. Well, good morning and thanks for waking up with us. It's Thursday, August 1st. I'm Lauren Barnes. Joe is off this morning, but you can catch him on midday, which is our 11 a.m. show once again today. Meteorologist Elisa Raffa is here with me this morning, and it was not raining when I left the house, but I have a feeling if that hasn't changed, it will pretty soon.
Yeah, not in Springfield just yet. Everything is still focused to the west. Okay. And I think Springfield through the next couple of days could keep the rain pretty scattered. It might not be a big rain event for us, but for our friends to the west, this could be.
All right. Is it going to cool us down at all, even if we don't get that rain?
Yeah, we'll have those temperatures in the upper 70s and lower 80s through the next 3 days, which is 10 degrees below average. So.
All right. So enjoy it if you've been hot.
Yeah, but the rain could be heavy at times, especially to the west. So we do have a flash flood watch in effect for our counties west of Highway 65, where a good 3 to 5 inches of rain is possible. Some isolated totals could approach 6 inches. So again, this is going to be the corridor of heavy rain to the west. We're looking at wet roads in Branson this morning, where we've got some showers and storms rolling through. It is 72 degrees there right now. Again, here's the radar. Not much happening in Springfield, but we do have some light to moderate rain stretching from Nevada through Sheldon and Lamar. Another batch of rain around Anderson and Neosho. Then there's that one little storm around Branson that's bringing some wet roads there this morning, and then another one up around Hermitage. Again, Springfield not really seeing too much in the way of rain just yet. It is 73 degrees right now in Springfield, 72 in Branson, and 68 at Lake of the Ozarks. So we're starting out with some wet roads this morning, some locally heavy rain possible, and we keep that chance through the day today. Not the best pool day. We'll have more clouds, temperatures on the cooler side, 80 degrees at 3 o'clock with the scattered showers and storms. That storm chance holds at the Ozark Empire Fair today. Again, Springfield's rain chances probably stay a little bit spottier with that high around 82 degrees. I've got lots of details on that flash flood watch coming up in 10 minutes.
New for you this morning on Daybreak. 2 suspects are in custody following an armed robbery on West Kearney overnight. It happened in front of the El Taco there. The call came in just before 11 p.m. Thankfully, no injuries, and police found the suspect's car and took 2 people in. The robbery is still under investigation. Also making news now, Wednesday, the Missouri Job Center held a panel to discuss the benefits of hiring former inmates. Our Hannah Zetto joins us in the studio with a recap of the event and how this group is an essential part of workforce development. Hannah, good morning.
Good morning, Lauren. Confidence. That's what everybody needs to apply, interview for, and ultimately secure a job to provide for themselves. Finding this confidence is especially difficult for former inmates who expect immediate rejection from potential employers. Programs offered at the Missouri Job Center now aiming to combat that stigma.
Inmates across Missouri are seen by many as an untapped talent pool and a vital piece of the state's workforce development puzzle. The Missouri Job Center has found a way to tap into that talent through persons with past legal issues in employment, or the Apply program.
Go forth into the community and try to bridge this gap between us and prison.
Employers gathered at the center Wednesday to hear from a panel of former inmates that have traded in handcuffs for hand tools.
When wasn't I in jail, really, is the question. I was in.
Like Tanner Devereaux, who has spent most of his adult life in and out of the system until now.
I learned how to present myself, like I said, not as a felon, but as a person looking for a job, saying, hey, you know what, I made some mistakes, but that's not who I am today.
Devereaux found a job in construction, and he hopes to grow within the company that recognized his potential.
So I said, hey, I got to see my PO next week. He said, well, just come see me after you get done seeing your PO. We'll put you to work. It was that easy, and he didn't hold my past against me or anything.
The first few weeks out of prison is an important window, an inmate's fork in the road between creating a future or resorting to the past.
It takes a while to clear your name.
Derek Barnes recruits inmates for construction jobs before their release dates.
If it wasn't for past offenses, well, me for instance, I mean, we wouldn't have half of our workforce. They're doing a lot of different training now in prison.
Both Barnes and Devereaux believe that conversations like this will clear the road for filling even more positions.
My past doesn't define me, but instead it's given me perseverance and made me who I am today.
Panelists also discussed ways to combat Missouri's high incarceration rate, as it has the 8th highest rate in the country. Events and programs like Apply, which has a 70% success rate, are the Job Center's way of addressing that issue.
Hannah Zettel, thank you for that report. There's a new effort to stop a Missouri law from banning abortion after the 8th week of pregnancy. Planned Parenthood, the ACLU of Missouri, and a law firm based in New York City are suing the state of Missouri in an attempt to block the legislation. The complaint was filed Tuesday night. Lawyers for the ACLU and Planned Parenthood argue the bill signed by Missouri Governor Mike Parson in May is unconstitutional. As of now, the law is set to go into effect at the end of this month. We've been covering this story for the past few months. You can find links to all of our coverage by heading over to ozarksfirst.com. Bringing you some more local news, a community is remembering 2 teens killed in a fatal crash. 16-year-old Jonah Smith and 17-year-old Zachary White were both killed in a crash near Willow Springs when a car spun out and overturned. Many gathered at the Willow Springs football field last night to remember the boys, to comfort each other. A local pastor led the vigil and shared a little about the experience.
They were like one of mine, good friends of my son, and in this community we all everybody's kids belong to everybody, you know, and so this was a huge punch in the gut for the whole community. You know, we try to make sense of it, and we know we can't make sense of it, so we can't necessarily even make the best of it, but we can be there for one another and get through it one step at a time.
Moving on to a traffic alert you'll want to know about. If you use southbound Route 65 very often, now's the time to consider an alternate route. Southbound 65 will be completely closed between Sunshine and Battlefield beginning this Sunday, and that lasts until next Saturday, August 10th. It's the first phase in a project. The second phase is going from Battlefield to the 60 and 65 interchange. At that time, there will be a partial closure at Sunshine and a full closure at Battlefield. The main goal of the project is to replace the 2 outside lanes of 65. MoDOT will also replace the shoulder and guardrail.
With this closure, we have alternate routes set up. We have one on the east side, which is the 125 detour all the way around. There's signs going up now with message boards. And then on the west side, we'll have I-44 to James River and back around.
Gripka says the construction schedule is solid, but the only reason they may have some delays is if they run into bad weather. Bringing you political coverage, Governor Mike Parson was in Springfield to speak to the Chamber of Commerce. Hundreds joined him at Bass Pro's White River Conference Center. During his second annual State of the State, he said it's an exciting time for Missourians because the entire state is seeing success. Parson claims the economy is growing, unemployment is at an all-time low, and businesses are investing and expanding. We're also learning Governor Parson will travel to Australia soon. He'll be visiting both Melbourne and Sydney. It's part of his trade mission to promote Missouri products and meet with infrastructure leaders. Australia is actually Missouri's 9th largest international market with over $300 million in annual exports. It's your right to know. A state audit is revealing some possible mismanagement of funds by a former public safety director. The audit released by Nicole Galloway shows former director Drew Juden allowed the department to give more than $1.2 million to the Missouri Police Chief's charitable foundation for fingerprinting. However, the Highway Patrol provides free fingerprinting. The audit also found Juden previously served as chairman of the foundation. When Governor Mike Parson took office, he replaced Juden with Sandra Karsten back in 2018. Included in the audit, Karsten agrees with Nicole Galloway, who's our auditor, her findings. Still ahead for you on Daybreak, a recall on thousands of baby sleepers. We'll tell you which brands to look out for up next in your Money Watch.
From Color 10 Ozarks First, Lauren Barnes, Joe Morano, and weather with meteorologist Elisa Raffa. This is Color 10 News Daybreak.